Yo guys, what's up, it's Krypz, and today I'm going to be showing you all the new Eververse sets introduced in Season of the Lost. Now these are the sets which can currently be purchased for 1,500 silver. Now I've gone ahead and purchased them for all 3 characters, so I can show you how it combos with different armor, as well as how it shaders. So I've gone ahead and left timestamps on screen right now, so you can go and skip ahead to whichever set you really want to see. But yeah, if you do find this video useful, then please drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, it's time we get straight into the sets. So I'm firstly going to be starting off with the Hunter set. Now if you do want to just skip ahead to the shaders, then I will leave a timestamp on screen. But yeah, I'm firstly going to be going over each armor piece individually. So as you can see, I went ahead and took off the hood so you can see the helmet better. Without any hood, this helmet actually looks alright. Looks a bit weird from the front here. Now even if you change shaders, the visor will not glow whatsoever. This is actually going to be great if you want like a full black helmet, as you could see, and I could definitely imagine a lot of people using this in their blackout sets. Now moving on to the arms, this is quite well detailed, to be fair. There's lots of layers to it, and it's also symmetrical, so there is no difference on either side of the arms. But yeah, with some shaders you could definitely get some really nice looks. Like I just showed with Postmatism, you're going to get some really nice light reflections on that chainmail, so it's going to create a really nice shiny look to the arms as well. Now moving on to the chest plates, there is something I wish they changed about this, and that is to make some chainmail present on the chest to help flow better with the arms. And as you can see, the chest plate has a bit of a downward slope design. It's not coming forward too much. Now the only big issue I see with this is that obviously we got these pouches on the side here. Like I mentioned, these are shaderable, but it does come out a bit far, so if you wanted something really slim, then this probably wouldn't be the best for you. Now moved on to the boots, these are quite different from the other pieces. I really do love how these are plated. Now something you also want to watch out for when shadering these boots is that I found that this underplated knee pad here, so it's like 2 layers. Now the second layer won't shader a primary colour, depending on what shader it is. So as you could see, it goes a bit more of a brown here where the gold is overlapping, so it really will depend on what shader you use. And something else is that there is some cloth up here too, so you will have to take into account how the cloth will shader as well. As you can see, it does go a red with Horizon's blush here. And then moving on to the cloak, I quite like the design in the back here. As you could see, both sides don't come up fully, it does hang down a bit, which does make it come down more on this side of the set on the right, but I still think it looks really nice. And we've got this really cool headpiece at the top here with nice sharp designs coming down the back, and the eyes do glow on this headpiece as well. As you could see, it does change colour as well as you shader it. Now I also want to quickly show you all some exotics with the armour. With the helmet and boots here, the Gwynson vest looks quite good. The boots, like with the design of them and also the engravings, could somewhat match with the patternings on the chest plate, and also the helmet doesn't look too bad. I found the cloak and arms wouldn't look as good. Now here's the 6 Coyote exotic as well. These are known to be quite wide on a female hunter, but these boots actually fit somewhat well with this. So if you are struggling for boots, then I would recommend this here. And then a final exotic would be the Oathkeeper. The natural colours of the Oathkeeper actually fairly match the actual set here. So you can pretty much go with whatever you want, and I think these could still look pretty cool. But yeah, I'm now going to go over some popular shaders so you could see how the set looks with different colours. So starting off with Omnicronia, I know a lot of people really do like this shader here. It's not too bad. Although the only thing I don't like about it is that you don't really get these nice accent colours coming out, because it pretty much shades it all gold. Now I quickly want to show you all Armatura, as Omnicronia can show this as well, but with some shaders like Armatura here, you do want to get some nice accent colours, or at least some colour that will show these nice engravings. This will help make the set look even more detailed from a distance. Now moving on, here is Abyssinian Gold. I know a lot of people really love this for darker looks, and I could see why. It does shade the eye colour at the top here red as well, and this shader can sometimes be sold in the Bright Dust store. Now moving on, we have Carbon Blood, another great shader from the Bright Dust store. A nice black and red with some white as well. I was expecting more of the cloak to go more of a white, but it actually didn't. But these gloves here down the end of the arms will shade a white, so that is something to be mindful of. Then here is Jacarina, another shader from the Bright Dust store. This is a really clean shader on a lot of sets, but honestly I don't think it works out well here. the pieces I think look best are probably the helmet and the boots. The arms look a bit weird here with the shader. Like I said, you do want to get those nice secondary and accent colours on this set for it to really pop and stand out. But I could definitely see a lot of people going with a dark look on the helmet here. Then moving on, we have Vintage Timber and also Old Algae from the Solstice event. Now this is an example of a shade I would highly recommend going for in this set. Like I mentioned, those nice accent colours come through on the arms and also the cloak here. So this is something I definitely would say fits extremely well with this set. And then finally, I'm going to go over some shaders from the shader bundle in the Eververse archive. For any of you which are new to the game, this costs 1000 glimmer. I highly recommend purchasing this bundle as it does give you a bunch of year 1 shaders. Now some of the best shaders on this set is Precursive X Chrome for a nice really light look. Then we also have Midnight Talons, something that would be really good if you're trying to go over like a really royal theme. Then there's Shurus Modular Shine for any of you which like a nice white and red. And then finally Metro Shift for any of you which want a really nice dark look to your set. Even if you don't want to have these blues coming through, you could just simply use this on the helmet and this will give you a really nice dark look to it. So yeah, that's pretty much the Hunter set. I would say this is somewhat worth buying, and also if you didn't know, the Celestial set got reintroduced into the archive. I also have a video on the channel if you do want to see how that looks as well. So yeah, that's the whole set. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and it's time to move on to the Titan set. So here is the Titan set. Now like with the Hunter set, I'll leave a timestamp on screen so you could skip ahead to the shaders. But yeah, I'm firstly going to be going over this whole set and the individual pieces. So we're going to quickly look into the helmet first. This has a really nice wing design. You can pretty much flow this into a lot of pieces. It's not too bulky. The helmet does come back quite a bit though because of the wings, but I can still see it flown into a lot of different sets. And I could definitely see the Sunstead pieces from the Solstice somewhat really working with this set here. So back onto the helmet, as you could see, there is no visible glow on the eyes here. That is maybe something I would have liked to see. And again, like the Hunter says, some really nice engravings even on the back here. This pretty much goes throughout the entire set. Even when we move on to the shoulder plates here, you can see like a rose engraving design with some little bit spiky bits coming up as well. And then just like the Hunter set has these little plated pieces overlapping, moving into chainmail. Now both these arm pieces are symmetrical, meaning there's no difference on either side of the arms. And then moving on to the chest plate, like I mentioned with the Hunter chest, I would have loved to see more chainmail on the chest, but this headpiece is really cool. Now as you can see from the shadering of this, the top half of the chest here does shader differently to the under bit, so this can create some difference with some shaders. That is just something you're going to have to be careful with when shadering this. But honestly, the chest plate doesn't come out that much. The only part I don't like is this little bit that comes out down the bottom, but that's just personal preference for me. And then the back end here's got some nice engravings as well. It somewhat reminds me of the Krypz of the Fallen Star. And then moving on to the boots, this is going to be an absolutely phenomenal set for any of you wanting to create a like medieval knight, or even a knight based off Dark Souls. But as you can see, when I do shader this with Boreal Char, you can see a secondary colour on the top of the thigh here with the underplating. And then moving on to the mark. Now I'll be honest, there's a lot of marks in this game that look bad. There's very few that look really good, and that's probably why you see a lot of people using the same sort of marks. But this here is probably one of the best ones we've got in quite a while, and I would say this is a bit similar to the Katuria from last season. If you just look at how it's designed and where it comes down, it is a bit similar but less bulky, which is much better. I like quite slim down marks, one of my favourites being the Lucid Night mark. But yeah, we've got some really nice patternings as well, and engravings coming all the way down to the back. Now some exotics you could try with this set would be the Krypz of the Fallen Star. This looks pretty cool in this set here. I went with the Sunstead arms from the Solstice 2021. Another set I would highly recommend pairing with this. You could also try the Crest of Alpha Lupi with the nice pattern here, somewhat matching with the rest of the armor. And a final exotic suggestion would probably be the Stronghold. The chest plate and the arms flow fairly well together, especially his right arm plate matched with like the shape of the leg armor here, but also the nice engravings to match with the little details of the set. So yeah, there were some exotics that I recommend trying to pair with the set. I'm now going to be going over some of the most used shaders on this set, so you get an idea of what it looks like with different colours. So starting off here is Omnichronia. Like I mentioned earlier, you will have to be careful with the secondary colour on the chest plate and also the helmet here, as it can look somewhat awkward with some shaders. Although this is not to say that it's a bad design, because with Grand Luster here you get some really nice blacks with a nice pop of white. So this is one shader that I think definitely is very unique and can work with this set. Then moving on, here is Abyssinian Gold. I think this looks fairly good with this for a dark look. Then for any of you wondering, here is Seven Sisters as well. As you can see, got a galaxy texture as well on the mark. Then we also have Carbon Blood, another shader which can sometimes be sold in the Brighter store. Very good for a nice dark and red look. But again, the two shaders which are really good are Vintage Timber and Oiled Algae. These look particularly nice on this set, but unfortunately we're from the Solstice of Heroes event. Then next we have Crucible Peppermint. Whites and reds seem to look really good in this set, so if you do have this then I would recommend using it. And again, like I mentioned earlier with Grand Luster, Grayscale Undergrowth creates a really nice dark colour that contrasts the lighter colour here. This shader can sometimes be sold in the Brighter store. I think it looks really nice on this set and is a seriously underrated shader. And also, for any of you wanting a really nice black and red, Midnight Smith from the Scourge of the Past raid looks really awesome here. Now if you don't have that shader, you could also try Begizen Knight, Satu Tribe, House of Mayrin and Rasmussen Clan. I found these to work fairly well in this set, and all these shaders are obtainable through world drops, as Forge Armor was reintroduced into the game. And some final shaders I want to show you all is Gambit Chrome. Like I mentioned, for that night look, if you want a really nice silver, then I definitely recommend going for this. And then we also have Metro Shift from the shader bundle, which is in the Eververse archive. Pick this shader bundle up if you haven't already. It only costs 1000 glimmer. As you could see, Metro Shift is a nice dark look to the set. So yeah, that's pretty much the Titan set. I do think this set really does shine, particularly in the boots and helmet here. The chestplate can really work in some sets. The arms and mark, however, are nothing like crazy good. So if you want to, you could just wait and get the helmets, chest and boots for Bright Dust. And also the Celestial set did return. The Celestial Titan set was particularly good, especially the helmet, mark and chestplate. I think they're some of the best we've seen for the Titan. So if you are deciding between them two, then go ahead and check out my Celestial video. So yeah, just let me know what you think of this set in the comments below. And now it's time we move on to the Warlock set. So here's the Warlock set. Now just like with the Hunter and Titan, I will leave a timestamp on screen, so you can go and skip ahead straight to the shaders. But yeah, I'm firstly going to go over the armor pieces here. So yeah, starting off with the helmet. Just like the Titan design, has this really cool wing look coming off the back here. Now I can especially see this helmet working really well with the Wings of Sacred Dawn exotic. But I'll get more into that later. But yeah, we have these really nice sharp bits coming out the back as well. The back end looks really cool. From a side angle, this looks really nice. Now the headpiece does glow, as you could see from the eyes, and this glow can shader as well. Now something I noticed about the visor of this helmet is the fact that it does not shader any differently. So if you do have a primary color of black on a piece, then the visor will also go black. Now moving on to the Warlock arms, as you could see, I was quite surprised to see a lot of detail on these arms here. Warlock arms don't typically get a lot of detail because you can't really see them, and also because the robes and the helmet pretty much make up the entire Warlock set. Now something I do want to point out when shadering this is, as you can see, the top does shader differently to the bottom where the blue is. For example, use Horizon's Blush. There's also Lichen Crown, which shaders the top green and the bottom silver. But there are also some shaders that really make no difference at all. So with some, you will have it just fully shader, pretty much one color. Now something I do also want to point out is that this set is asymmetrical, meaning both sides are not the same on the arms here. As you can see, we got some plating here, and on the other end we pretty much have no plating at all. Now this is obviously going to create some problems with shadering, because as you can see, I went out and changed the shader, but this cloth here does not actually shader at all. It don't seem to change whatsoever, so it's going to be a big issue if you're trying to match the entire set. Now moving on to the robes, like I mentioned, there is some shoulder plating here. This honestly doesn't look too bad. They have gone with like this plated curve design with this set, and the curves do somewhat match with the wing design on the helmet. so I could see why they went with that design. Now the actual robes themselves I think are quite nice. I always love the chest plates which have like plating with overlapping cloth. A chest plate I also like which did this was the Virtuous, as you can see. And then moving on to the boots, like usual, Warlock boots ain't really that detailed again, but these ones do look pretty cool. I do like this curved design coming over the top here. They could have really just went for plain plated look, but they actually put some more detail in. However, depending on the robes, will depend on what part of the boots you will see. For example, with these robes, your leg will be exposed on the top, so that does mean you will have to be mindful of what legs you are using with these robes, as the top half will be exposed. And any bond, it's pretty cool actually. I quite like this bond. Again, nothing too special, only the eyes glow. I would have loved to see like a glowing orb in its mouth, but this still is pretty okay. And again, we just have these nice engravings going around. So yeah, that's pretty much my quick run through of the pieces. Some great exotics I want to show you with this set would be the Wings of Sacred Dawn. As you could see, I quickly just chucked on Abyssinian Gold. But if you do have the ornaments for this, then you could go with a nice silver. So you could try and switch this out for Cryptic Insignia and have quite a nice look like this. Like I said, these robes work really well because of the wing design matching with the back here. And another exotic which could look really cool would be the Claws of Ahamkara. Again, the feathers matching with the wings. And one final one I could suggest is Dawn Chorus. You could match like the plating, like the intricate designs with the helmet here. It works somewhat well. So I think these robes wouldn't be too bad for this helmet. So yeah, they're pretty much some exotics I'd recommend on this set. I'm now going to be going over some commonly used shaders to show you how the set colours. So starting off with Omnicronia, and a really nice gold shader which again a lot of people do like. The only thing I don't like is like the visor shading, very similar to the plating, and I don't think this looks too good on this helmet here, but on the other pieces I think it looks really nice. Then moving on, here is Seven Sisters. Obviously because most of the robes are cloth, it will do this galaxy effect. Honestly, I'll probably switch out these arms for the Claws of Ahamkara and just get a really nice silver on them, and I think that would look a lot better on this set. Then we have Carbon Blood as well. Not much red comes out at all in this, so it's pretty underwhelming. Then moving on, we have Vintage Timber and Oiled Algae. Again, looks really cool on this set, particularly Vintage Timber. But unfortunately these ones were from the Solstice Eververse. Then moving on, we have Jacarina, quite a popular one, but obviously keep an eye out for the Bright Dust store as they could sell this one again. Then again, I want to show you all Grayscale Undergrowth, a highly underrated shader which can drop from Eververse engrams and can sometimes be sold in the Bright Dust store. I think the really nice blacks in this on the helmet create a really cool and nice contrast. So this is definitely something I'd recommend trying. Now this is actually one I just stumbled upon, and as Golden Empire. This was from the Menagerie, but I do quite like the colours here. This is actually quite similar to Gold Leaf, but instead of the greens it adds more purple. But these golds do look pretty good on this set here. So yeah, they're pretty much all the sets. Go ahead and let me know what you think of them in the comments below. And please go ahead and drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as I tried to get this video out as soon as I could for you all. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make some videos on the new exotic ornaments, especially that Mask of Bakris, so expect that video very soon. And next week I will have the seasonal pass ornaments for you all, so I can make a video and show you if they're worth grinding for. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire video. Thank you all so much again for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video.